Welcome, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. What do we have coming through in the cards for today? Can I please have the first two cards in our 5 card spread? First two cards we are starting our day off with today are the Nine. Wow, the Nine of Pentacles in its upright in combination with the Five of Swords in its reversal. Productivity is the word, is what we're effectively seeing here. What feels energetically productive. And I got to say, there are certain transitions. There are certain energetic transitions that are some of my favorite transitions. And I like the transition that we experience from Libra into Scorpio. Because the transition from Libra into Scorpio is effectively the conversation on what it takes to actually be able to work towards like better energetic results, right? I keep wondering, it's very easy to stand on the sidelines of existence and complain that one does not like what one sees. Manifestation is the collaboration with the universe to be able to do the things that we hope to do, and it works through. And it's not just, I keep on hearing again, it's not just about looking at something and feeling energetically frustrated upon the fact that something isn't moving in the modality or in the way that we aspire it to. It's a conversation on what we're going to do about it. Is what I keep on getting. Like that is what manifestation is, right? It's not a latent space. And often the misunderstanding of that is working into that experience of energetic latency. There's a lot of that work that we identify and recognize as it relates to how we effectively proceed upon things. Now, one of the things that we effectively identify, and I keep on saying this has a big impact depending on where one finds oneself on the frequency cycles, is, and I keep on hearing, transformation leads to productivity. The space by which we're able to do something different is how something gets energetically done. Now, this is having a big impact depending on where one finds oneself on the frequency cycles. And I keep on seeing like the thing with this new moon energy that we're currently working towards has to do, and I keep on hearing, like, I also get the fact that, there's a certain expectation here, and I keep on warning people about this. This energy is also kind of like projection central. Why is it projection central? Because when we're not doing our inner work effectively, it's very easy to desire to project our fears out into the world around us. But that's why we talk about the space by which our own ability to navigate through our fears is the space by which we allow for a modality of productivity, because I keep on hearing it's the ability, like our own ability to navigate through fear articulates our safety for those around us, is what I keep on seeing. It's the conversation in relationality of what feels energetically productive. Now, this is hard, right? Because, and I got to tell you right now, especially for the energy in separation, we've got 3 different phases that we were identifying for the energy in separation. And this is because that energy in separation, these are moon partnerships that are coming together right now. And I like the thing about these moon partnerships, the thing I'm seeing with these moon partnerships is, and it's really hard to be able to articulate, because they're subtle, is what I'm getting. There's a subtlety here. There's something very energetically subtle, because, and I need to describe this. Remember how I articulated upon the fact that these new relationships that are coming together right now have been hurt by another person having not done their shadow work effectively, right? I keep on hearing like the space by which another is energetically reactive. I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy, like working through that there's the I keep on getting there's the modality of productivity, and I keep on seeing that they're unfiltered relationships. They're coming together in a way entirely unfiltered. And the way I need to describe this, and I need to explain this unfiltered but fortified. What do we mean by unfiltered but fortified? Unfiltered but fortified means that, and it's a continuation on the work that we saw coming through with the magician. Like the magician relationships were all about authenticity, right? The temperance relationships were all about the ability to be energetically proportional, trying to find balance. And what's nice about this is these moon relationships unify those two lessons. And what is the unification point of those two lessons? If I like who I am, right? If one tries to be one's authentic self and one likes what one sees, then the ability to be unfiltered about the self becomes the way that one is able to filter in terms of what is the best energy around the self, right? So it's the unfiltering, and this is the difference. But this is what we also have to work through, because we also have to work through the understanding that you can only be energetically unfiltered if you are in a space of energetic like if you're in a space of energetic balance, right? It is the unfiltering that allows for energetic clarity. And so that I keep on hearing like that space of unfiltering, that modality or that experience by which another person is able to articulate something, that I keep on hearing it is I keep on hearing it's the freedom to be unfiltered that we find when we're building into the context of understanding like what it feel like when we're working internally to maintain that energetic balance, right? And this is what we talk about the space of the energetic shed ego, because it's the space by which that authenticity or that vulnerability doesn't feel like a weakness. It feels like a source of strength, right? When I keep on hearing, it's like when we're in a good space, then when we're in a good space, it is a joy to be seen, is what I keep on hearing. And so that's what's kind of beautiful that I'm seeing with some of these moon relationships that are coming together. When we're in a good space, it's a delight to be seen, because there's something about them navigating from a place of feeling energetically unfiltered, that not only, I keep on hearing, not only are they feeling fortified in building a connection, but it is a connection that is built upon and based upon authenticity. I keep on hearing not feeling the energetic need to kind of have to feel like one is being, I keep wondering, not feeling the energetic need of having to effectively feel like one can't be in one's authentic space. So but I keep on seeing like this is also why, I have to stress this is also why there is that level of energetic trepidation that we see that is occurring in these connections, because that trepidation is the energy that has been hurt before. They have been effectively hurt in modalities or experiences where another person had not done their shadow work effectively. And I keep on seeing that I keep on hearing they were hurt by experiences of another doing an about face, right? And what is an effective about face? It's the space by which another articulates upon something that they aspire to do, but isn't in the space by which they're recognizing and ready to navigate the changes of the self required in order to get there. We talk about this a lot here in Healthy in Relationship. You can't say you want healthy partnership and then be upset. You can't say you want healthy partnership and then be upset when energy puts a lot of attention to the self, right? Because healthy relationship is about mutual obsession. You can't articulate that one wants a supportive partner, but then not be able to be the energetic support system to counterpart, right? It's the validation or the space by which we create that sense of energetic balance. So everything we see that is occurring in those modalities and in those experiences, there's a lot of this feeling of working through or working upon the experience of effectively identifying and recognizing what that force of intention is. So and it's interesting too, because you'll remember I articulated for the energy and separation, we're seeing three different modalities that is effectively occurring. There are some windows here that we see that there is some energy of restoration that's happening. But that restoration that we're effectively seeing is being amplified and articulated upon the fact of recognizing and identifying, giving someone some kind of articulation or conversation upon the impact that something had upon them, right? I keep on seeing there's something really restorative in those modalities and in those experiences, because it is energy that is healing something profound by articulating to another the meaning that it had for them. Now, this brings us to the energy that's reaching sealed separation. And a lot of that energy that we're seeing that's navigating or reaching into a space of sealed separation has more to do with the modality or the experience of not seeing the transformation necessary in order to amplify or articulate what is needed to resolve or to heal a situation. And that's why we see with a lot of these relationships that what the effective gift that's coming with this new moon is the feeling, I keep on hearing, is the feeling of being energetically reaffirmed and restored in relationality to what that direction is. I just keep on getting the same message for a lot of that energy. Potentially experiencing a lot of volatility in relationality to another returning, but not necessarily in the space of being changed, but almost checking to see if another person is emotional about a manifestation goal. And I keep on seeing that the space by which we feel emotional in relationality to our manifestation goals, it's a conversation again about being understanding that our journey is not to get rid of triggers, but to identify the triggers that are healthy, right? The triggers that stand next to a standard because the standard feels like it needs to be protected, versus something that we're healing from, a trigger that was created in a space of trauma, because trauma builds triggers in weird places. Now, this brings us to the temperance relationships that were coming together between the time of Uranus going retrograde up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing, up until the solstice period this summer. Center card for today's spread. Page of Swords. I like that. We like a Page of Swords here. Because the Page of Swords effectively speaks to us about, I keep on getting, the Page of Swords speaks to us about the energy finding stabilization. You know, I keep on hearing expansion and stabilization. And why are we seeing the expansion and the stabilization? Because for a lot of the energy doing this work right now, that ability of working through an expansion process. Remember how I said the solar plexus opening. The thing about a solar plexus opening is that it creates a greater sense of stability within us, is what I keep on getting. It creates the space by which we're able to navigate and feel stabilized. Now, the thing about it is, especially with the controlled heart space, the thing about the heart opening is that heart opening often creates, I keep on describing it here as, it creates the space by which the heart space often indicates the grand gesture, is what I keep on hearing, right? I keep on getting the space or the amplification of a grand gesture. And the thing about that we're effectively seeing is grand gestures often do not protect the sanctity of another's healing process. That's what I meant. This is what I meant in relationality to working through. Remember when I talked about the complexity, right? Remember when I talked about the complexity of some of the energy of like the work that the temperance relationships are going through right now? That is exactly what I mean in terms of the complexity of something that some of the temperance relationships are going through, which is, I keep on hearing, the grand gesture of emotion that feels like it's affirming to the self but doesn't necessarily allow something to remain healed, is what I keep on seeing, right? Like that's effectively what we're effectively at. Like that's what I mean, because I told you for a lot of these relationships, the energy expounding or expanding upon something that happened in the past in a greater way, giving someone the full picture. Immediately, the energy in the present wants to go do something about something in the past. But that's why I keep on seeing the energy understanding, and they're working through Neptunic lessons. And Neptune lessons basically say if you touch something from the past, it becomes the present. Saturn always says, give that to me. Let me hold on to that. No, 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 don't touch it. Give it to me. Neptune says, do not touch my stuff. Okay, do not touch my stuff. Don't touch it, because now it's your stuff. Okay, like when we give things to Neptune, they have to stay with Neptune. So we see even now that for a lot of the energy working through that, the energy is like, I keep on seeing it's the energy that works upon the space of feeling the intensity, working through the intensity based upon past experience, but then energetically restricting the self from activating upon it, thereby protecting the sanctity of the healing process by which the counterpart has come to be found. So that's why we see that for a lot of the energy doing that work, it's hard, because it's like the retrograde that almost feels like one wanting to take recursive or aggressive action in something, but then finding the energetic maturation point to stay very focused and grounded in the present. So that's what we effectively see there. And it's not easy, is what I keep on getting. But they're getting stronger. They're expanding in the process, right? They may be even articulating to each other the feelings about it. Now, energy that is deep within divine union, those magician relationships. So those were the relationships that were coming together between the solstice period up until the time of Mercury and Venus stationing direct behind Neptune. And for our purposes, we always just read on the most recent energy that moved into divine union, because we'd be here forever if we didn't. All right, can I get 2 cards to clarify? Yep, we got the Knight of Pentacles in its upright in combination with our 10 of Cups in its upright. So let's talk a little bit about this energy, because the 10 of Pentacles in its upright is, I just keep on hearing the energy deep within divine union is like proceeding in the pathwork by which they understand and recognize is best, is what I keep on getting. And the thing about that is, I keep on, like, it has to do, I need to stress this, like, and I just need to say, like, when we talk about, the space by which we grow apart from another person, I keep on getting often the space by which we grow apart from another is when they don't share our energetic joy upon things, is what I keep on seeing. The space by which I keep on getting, the space by which we feel that, I keep on hearing the space by which we share joy is often the space by which we amplify and articulate upon a maturation process, is what I keep on seeing. It's the amplification. It is the articulation. It is the expression upon which we expand and expound upon something that allows, I keep on getting, allows for that journey of productivity. And so there's something, I keep on getting, there's something really, there's something really fortifying that's happening right now for some of the energy deep within divine union. Because remember how I said that it's not everyone, right? It's not, I keep on hearing, it's not like there are energies right now for some of this energy within divine union that is feeling and sharing the same energetic bliss that they themselves are experiencing. But that's why I keep on seeing that the space by which they're following their bliss is, I keep on hearing the space by which they're following their bliss is the space by which that bliss or that joy feels like it's energetically amplified. And that's why and this is what we talk about. This is often how we can recognize that we're going through a maturation process, wherein the space by which we're following our bliss, and another person articulates that the only way that they can feel blissful is if we do something ridiculous, is what I keep on getting. Like that is what I mean by some of the energy that is working through. Like, this is what I mean about some of the energy of these magician partnerships that are deep within divine union, working through something, right? Like, the sign of a maturation process is when you're doing nothing but following your bliss, and another person amplifies or articulates that the only way they could feel blissful is if you do something ridiculous, which is something that is completely focused upon the individual instead of what feels like it's energetically productive, is what I keep on seeing. So for a lot of the energy doing that work or navigating that, I just keep on getting that it's it's like it just goes like this. Okay, it's like that. It's a lot of that. It's I keep on seeing it's just like I feel like what's interesting about this is I'm almost feeling like there's something about the energy deep within divine union that they're finding alignment by having those conversations upon experiences such as that, right? Like, I keep on hearing working through an egoic journey, that I keep on hearing, and this is what we talk about. Remember when I said, and this is often what we work through in relationality to healthy egoic journeys. Like, the egoic journey that is supportive is one that bars explanation, right? Like, one that makes sense if you understand. So that's the funny thing about it. Like, the energy is like the magician energies right now. They're following their bliss by following what makes sense, is what I keep on saying. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, okay. I mean, like, it's moving. Like, it's, there's that's what we're effectively seeing. Now, continuing to get clarification between our 9 of Pentacles in combination with our 5 of Swords and its reversal. One card to clarify. Ooh, we got that Ace of Wands. And that's what I mean. Like, the nice thing, I got to tell you, like, the one thing, and we know this, and this is what I appreciate about Scorpio energies. Scorpionic energy has very little time for, I keep on hearing, the difference between nuanced and ridiculous. The difference between nuanced and ridiculous is the space by which something is compelling, but in the space that it makes sense. This is why, and this is why I need to stress this. Like, you'll notice this. Like, you'll notice this with Scorpionic journeys. Scorpionic journeys are not interested. Like, they're interested in the space by which I keep on hearing mystique, not mysterious, which is like something like, because I can keep on not absurd, because, and this is often something that's hard for those with Scorpionic journeys, because the thing is, and we see this a lot, we often see this with we're gonna go through this a lot with Chiron, with Uranus going into Gemini. Often absurd and mysterious can look very similar, right? They can look very similar, but it's the understanding of the logic that is found in the unknown that articulates the difference between I keep on hearing a depth. I keep on getting a depth that goes deeper versus someone painting a hole against the wall, is what I keep on seeing. That's effectively the best way I can describe it. And I keep on hearing sometimes, and this is why this type of work is important right now, because often off, and it has to do with the space, because it's a question about whether one is avoidant of something or whether, or like the question as to whether one is avoiding something, or whether something it like whether someone is energetically like like holds something like at a point of deepness, is, hold on, this is like very refined that's coming through, is the depth by which we are able to articulate upon it. And I need to point this out. We sometimes see this with Scorpios, and this is always like my thing when I talk about Scorpios, which is when a Scorpio says, I don't want to talk about it, you leave it. Okay, because the I guarantee you that when a Scorpio says, articulates, I don't want to talk about it, it's usually not because they haven't thought about it, right? Like the depth by which we understand the well by which we energetically proceed within our own thoughts is the space by which we articulate and identify the I keep on hearing like the fathoms, like understanding our own energetic fathoms versus not wanting to energetically avoid it. And I keep on hearing like that's the space by which we articulate upon the difference between, I keep on hearing, the absurd, right? When someone says, I don't want to talk about it, but what they're really saying is, I don't want to think about it, right? Versus someone saying, I would rather not talk about it because there's a lot there. It's fathomless. There's a lot to navigate. And so this is what we effectively mean in relationality. And the reason that this is coming up right now is when I talk towards these moon relationships, the problem that I keep on seeing is for a lot of these relationships, the wariness, right? The energetic wariness that they're navigating towards one another is, I keep on seeing like they're articulating upon if what they see in one another is, I keep on hearing like the space by which someone energetically avoids something versus the space by which someone articulates upon the depth of something, like the depth of something there. And so I keep on seeing that for a lot of the energy working through that capacity or working through that experience, and that's what I mean about the energy. Like, this is the energy that feels like they've been hurt by someone not doing their shadow work effectively. Because I keep on hearing like the space by which they feel like they're healing from having to navigate another person's projections upon them. I keep on hearing like there's something significant and important there. And that's why I keep on hearing these relationships saying, in order to go forward, we have to go backwards. They're talking to each other a lot about that history to see, I keep on hearing, to see whether the manifestation goal in relationship feels like it's in alignment. But at the same time, like I keep on hearing they're moving towards each other very, very delicately and very carefully. Like it's the way that these relationships are coming together, and they're being energetically patient with one another. Now, continuing to, I keep on hearing, take all the time you need, which is what I kind of get. Like, I just keep on seeing this energy that is like, and this is very different from those temperance relationships, because I told you those temperance relationships hit the ground running. Those temperance partnerships were like two peas in a pod. They like bumped into each other and never stopped walking. Can I get clarification on the Five of Swords and its reversal and the Page of Swords and its upright? Yeah, oh man, King of Swords and its upright. So, oh, that's interesting. You know, what we're effectively seeing here for these temperance relationships, I keep on hearing the temperance relationships are sanctifying the partnership. And the reason that they're sanctifying the partnership is we're just identifying. They're sanctifying the partnership specifically and particularly because they're prioritizing the healing journey of the counterpart. They're prioritizing the healing journey of the counterpart. They're not, I keep on hearing, they're not giving themselves the indulgence of a heart opening, is what I keep on getting. Like there is a situation right now where I keep on seeing the energy working through something, and I keep on seeing what I want to do. This is what I would want to do, but I keep on hearing the energy say, but to do that would be indulgent to the self. It wouldn't be honoring the counterpart, right? So I keep on getting there's a lot of that force of intention It's giving me it's giving me a lot of that space by which another person is articulate. I keep on hearing they're articulating and navigating through something. They're sharing their energetic feelings upon it. But I keep on hearing more than anything, they're prioritizing the sanctity of the healing journey of the counterpart, which is the space by which they articulate. I keep on hearing they can have thoughts upon it, they can have feelings upon it, but they're honoring how each other chooses to energetically handle it or to navigate it. Because I keep on seeing that and this is what I meant about them building into their space of empathy, because I keep on hearing their ability to understand the energetic complexity on what it takes to heal from something. I keep on seeing and I keep on getting, and this is what we have to talk about here. This is why we recognize that when we empower each other on our healing journeys, we don't tell each other what that healing journey has to be. We don't tell healing is different for everybody, and it is entitlement. It is entitlement to assume that the way that you heal is the way that another person has to heal, right? And it's interesting too, because we talked, like, the word fortify comes through, right? And we often have this with scorpionic journeys, because scorpionic journeys often talk about the space that something that's good for one might not be good for another, right? It's like it is the space by which we calibrate for what feels energetically right for us. And so that's what I keep on seeing, because it is the energy. I keep on hearing it is the energy that is potentially articulating the fact that they're looking at something in the past, and they're potentially feeling that they may have addressed it or done something differently. But then also in the space of doing that, they feel energetically consistent or secure in navigating something in such a way that they're able to articulate and amplify trusting each other in those processes. Now, this brings us to the Page of Swords in combination with our Knight of Pentacles in its upright. And this has to do specifically with the energy that's deep within divine union, those magician partnerships. We've got here the Hermit card in its reversal. So what are we seeing right now with the Hermit card in its reversal? The Hermit card in its reversal, and this is what's so wild about it, because remember, the energy coming into the temperance relationships are moving through the Neptune lessons. And the Neptune lessons basically say, don't touch Neptune stuff, right? It's a space that articulates and says, let that be where it is. And again, it's the energy that honors that the past remains the past when we don't energetically touch it. The energy that is working through the situations or circumstances in the magician partnerships, they're working through Saturn lessons. And Saturn lessons are saying often the space by which one says, if one touches something in the present, there's no ability to heal it in the future, right? It's the energy that understands, like Neptune says, don't touch it. Saturn says, give that to me. Give that to me. Give that to me. Because especially if these are maturation lessons, if these are energies going through maturation lessons and they're seeing someone that isn't in a point of maturation, I keep on seeing the energy that wants to effectively articulate upon something, and they're working through pathwork of patience. I keep on hearing they're having patience with themselves, but they're also having patience for honoring their journey. And I keep on seeing that, I keep on hearing we can't get into arguments to elicit happiness in others, is what I keep on hearing, right? You can't get into an argument and be like, be happy for me. You know what I mean? Like, you be happy this minute. You know what I mean? Like, you can't do that. And that's why I keep on seeing they're going through a Saturn lesson, because I literally feel that something about the pathwork that the energy is navigating right now, moving into divine union, has to do with shared happiness. And I keep on hearing you can't shake someone down and force them to be energetically happy about something. You just have to recognize whether they are. Continuing to get clarification between our Knight of Pentacles in combination with our Ten of Cups in its upright. Can I get one card to clarify, please? Oh, we've got here the Six of Swords in its reversal. So let's talk a little bit about the Six of Swords in its reversal. For the energy that is in separation, is like the energy in separation with the Six of Swords in its reversal. I keep on getting it's the Six of Swords in its reversal is often talking to us about working through, and I keep on hearing this. This is coming through repeatedly right now for the energy and separation. And I know that this is hard because especially with, and I'll kind of repeat this, and this, I feel like I need to say this to anyone who's got Pisces placements, especially with Pisces, especially with Neptune moving back into Pisces, remembering and reaffirming that closure is an illusion, that closure is not found through going back to past experiences. Closure is found by having one's handful of presence. I'm going to say that again. Closure is not found. Closure is not found by going back to the past. Closure is found by having one's hands full of presence, which is building into the present. It's allowing the space by which one is energetically present. It's building into the space by which one is allowing for allowing for the space by one is able to feel that productivity and allowing for that space of presence. And so I keep on seeing that, and that's what I meant in terms of some of this healing that's coming through right now in a lot of these relationships and a lot of these circumstances. I keep on seeing that even in the healing, like those pockets of healing that I'm identifying here, the pockets of healing are being articulated by presence, which is not, and I keep on hearing, it's not the space by which another comes towards another to change something, but the significance and the impact of being able to articulate to another the meaning that something had to another is what I keep on seeing, right? There's a lot of that. I keep on getting there's a lot of that energy there, but it's not easy is what I keep on seeing. There's a lot of that space by which another person articulates upon it. Now, for the energy, and that's why I keep on getting that if these are modalities or experiences that wherein another is coming back during these times, and instead of wanting to have a healing conversation is effectively just checking to see if someone is still emotional, just checking to see if someone is in their feels. It's more of a continuation of saying that when we are healing, we're always in our feels. The feels become more real. It's the articulation and amplification of understanding what we're working to let go of, right? The trauma by which we are experienced, the triggers by which are in weird places as related to trauma versus feeling triggered for good reason is what I keep on seeing. Continuing to get clarification between our Ace of Wands in its reversal, our King of Swords in its upright. Yeah, man, this Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles in its reversal. And I keep on getting this. This is why these relationships that are coming together right now are coming towards each other with so much care and so much delicacy, because I just keep on seeing the same space. Healthy mirrors are not the space by which we feel energetic projections upon them, is all I keep on getting. Healthy mirrors, I keep on getting healthy mirrors are the amplification and articulation. Are the amplification and articulation of what feels energetically sustainable. And that's why I keep on seeing that. That's why I keep on hearing for these relationships, in order to go forwards, they have to go backwards. This is why I keep on seeing the articulation of the manifestation goal isn't enough to anchor the partnership. I keep on hearing it's the exploration in relationality as to how one another arrived is what I keep on seeing. That is helping these relationships thrive. Because I keep on seeing, it's like, I keep on hearing, tell me where you've been and I'll tell you who you are, right? And I keep on hearing it's not the space by which they're judging each other for that path work, but they're articulating whether it feels like the path work and the manifestation goal align. Continuing to get clarification between our King of Swords and our Hermit card in its reversal. Ooh, we've got here the Five of Cups in its reversal. So the Five of Cups in its reversal, for the energy that's moving deeper into divine union, I just keep on seeing that for a lot of these whoa, okay, these are the next cards. Let's just put these here. Okay. But that's what that's what I mean. Like the hard part for some of these relationships, for those who are following the podcast, as I was about to read for the Five of Cups, two cards came flying out, right? And what's happening, and this is what I keep on seeing that is difficult, and I have to stress this, and this is what I mean about the temperance relationships going through something right now. Remember how I said that Chiron and Eris are both retrograding in proximity to each other, almost on top of each other? It's not just the fact. It's not just the fact that there's something that is happening right now for the energy that is coming into union, that is triggering. The desire to take it personally has never been stronger, because something I keep on seeing in relationality to what is being shared via the counterpart is potentially the idea. I need to describe this because this is so wild what I'm seeing here. Remember how I said that trauma builds triggers in weird places? It's not just the fact that there's something upon the pathwork of the past that is making the energy of the counterpart feel very deep in their feels, but that the wound is almost the wound of the counterpart, the past wound of the counterpart is sitting almost directly on top of a trauma trigger of the connection, is what I keep on seeing. It is the energy that feels triggered. Okay, hear me out here. I know this is what I mean about the complication of something. It is the energy that feels triggered because a past trauma experienced by a counterpart is sitting almost directly on a trigger, a trauma trigger of the new connection. Okay? Like that is what I mean in relationality to the feeling of the desire of desiring to take it personally. And that's what I meant about the space by which they're having to go through a solar plexus opening with a controlled heart space, because it's not just the fact, it's the fact that they have empathy for it, but their empathy is in overdrive because something about it is something that they take very energetically personally, is what I keep on seeing. So there's a lot of that type of energy there. Now, continuing to get clarification for the energy that is, and that was the clarifications already come out for the energy, the Magician partnerships between the Hermit card in its reversal, the Six of Swords in its reversal, the Judgment card in its reversal, and the Two of Pentacles in its upright. So the clarification between the Hermit card in its reversal and the Six of Swords in its reversal is the Judgment card in its reversal with the Two of Pentacles. So I got to tell you, there is something ridiculous. And this is usually how you can tell you're going through a maturation process. When I say the energy deep within divine union is going through a ridiculous maturation process, because the maturation process is usually amplified and articulated in the space by which you recognize that there is a pathwork to be able to heal something, but that pathwork is absolutely ridiculous. Is what I keep on getting. It's like the pathwork that is absolutely ridiculous. Like it is just, I can see this energy, like talking about it being like, I can see how to resolve this. And the only way we'd have to resolve it is by having to be absolutely ridiculous, which is, and I keep on seeing like, that's what we mean in relationality to a maturation process, which is the energy that's effectively like the energy that's looking at something and being and this is what I mean about that energy, like deep within divine union, like I can, and here's the thing about it, they're potentially talking to others. They're talking to others about it too. Maturation, finding mutual bliss, right? The maturation by which one finds mutual bliss is often in the articulation point of being able to observe something and recognizing how ridiculous it is, right? And so that's what I mean. There's an auric cleansing that's happening right now for a lot of those relationships. And I keep on seeing that for a lot of those relationships, it's potentially looking outside of partnership at someone and being like, they're being ridiculous. Because I keep on seeing like it, and that's what often happens when there's like a resistance point in being able to navigate upon some point of change, right? It's the observation of not like I keep on hearing the space by which another is moving more into the context by which they're not recognizing the fact that I keep on hearing healthy energy wants to see us steadfast, which is the observation of feeling that sense or that force of stabilization. So there's something important about that, and I keep on seeing that the healing is coming through in the energy, having sympathy for one another as they're going through it is what I keep on getting. Continuing to get clarification between our Six of Pentacles in its reversal and our Five of Cups in its reversal. We've got here the Seven of Cups in its upright. And the thing with this Seven of Cups, the thing with the Seven of Cups in its upright, getting back to the energy right now in separation, we had a lot of, how do I describe this? You know, I like the Seven of Cups in this modality right now because the Seven of Cups for the energy and separation is talking about all of the phases that we're currently seeing right now for the energy and separation, right? And I keep on seeing that there's something happening right now for the energy in separation that feels like they're trying to sort through they're trying to sort through what feels like it's energetically true. And I keep on seeing the reason that the energy in separation is doing that is I keep on getting this energy has worked through. I told you how this energy is healing. I keep wondering, they're healing from situations or circumstances wherein I keep on hearing the disambiguation of another's inability to be able to recognize what is necessary in order to maintain or navigate towards a manifestation goal. And it's more of the continuation that we spoke about. You can't be like, it's ridiculous. I just can't find the perfect partner. Right. And then being like, I just want somebody who's like dedicated. And then suddenly you say, oh, stop, you're obsessed with me. Right. You can't articulate that you want someone who's doting. And then when you receive attention, you articulate it as obsession. You can't amplify the fact that you want something that is stabilizing, but then say that one feels bored in the space by which something feels like it's energetically grounded. It's the identification point of those. There's a huge disparity in the difference, and we have to work through this. And this is what we talk about with shadow work. The difference between articulating upon one's desire to have something versus the experience of feeling it, right? And this is why we often talk about the fact that if you're miserable, right? If you're miserable and you say to yourself, if I just had this, I would be less miserable. Sometimes that's the case, right? If there's something that's creating a weight, if there's something that's creating a blockage or limitation that is amplifying a difficulty point, then yeah, the clearing of that blockage will allow for an easement. But what you want to avoid is the identification that you can't, I keep on hearing, you can't remove personal misery with the right manifestation goal, which is everywhere you go, there you are, right? If you're not happy with the self, then you can enter any manifestation goal that you aspire towards. And I hate to break it to you, but you're going to find yourself there. You're not going to find yourself. You're going to find yourself there. And that's why we often articulate that the job of finding ourselves is a first step in terms of navigating towards a manifestation goal, because a healthy manifestation goal changes us in accordance with moving towards it. It's the amplification point of understanding that that work is mutual. Because when we look to the universe and say, gimme, but we're not willing to navigate the changes that are necessary, that's kind of rude, isn't it? It's not polite to be in that modality. So it's the space by which I keep on hearing we navigate our manifestation goals with courtesy, which is the courtesy of understanding that that journey of becoming is something that always requires change within us. And we're not going to be perfect as we do so. But the space by which, and I like to point this out, the space by which we're accountable on what it is that we're working to improve upon is the space by which we can improve upon it, right? It's the conversation that allows things to get done more effectively. So, and I keep on hearing it's tireless work. It's like there's no rest, but it's the best work possible, because it allows for the space by which we're always like, if you want a good manifestation goal, make sure that you're always seeking to learn, because that ability to adapt and to recognize is one that is built upon mutual care and observation. But this is why I see so much point of caution in relationality to the energy approaching one another, because they've been burned before. This energy's been burned before. They've been burned before by energy that articulated upon the desire to have something, but then stood in a space of latency and said, why isn't it happening? Instead of what can I energetically do about it, right? It's the condition by which we move something forward as effectively as we can. Always patient, never waiting, continuing to get clarification between our 5 of Cups in its reversal, our Judgment card in its reversal, and our 2 of Pentacles in its upright. One card to clarify, please. We've got here our Page of Pentacles in its upright. Now, this brings us to the energy that is coming into divine union, and I keep on hearing they're sanctifying the partnership. Why are the temperance partnerships sanctifying the partnership right now? Because I keep on hearing they're letting go, right? I keep on hearing the energy right now going, it would be very indulgent to open up the heart space, is what I keep on hearing. Be very indulgent, would feel really good, right? We got all that energy like retrograding in Aries, being like, you want to do something about that past, don't you? It'd feel really good. It would feel really good to your personal journey, because something about their personal journey feels like it triggers your personal journey. So I can see it's very, very tempting. I can see the energy going, it's very, very tempting. You'd like to do something about that past. Would make you feel good, wouldn't it? Would make you feel good. And this is how the energy is calling back their energy. Would it make them feel good? Would it make the counterpart feel good? Is the desire to open the heart space something that is indulgent upon the self? Or is it putting conscientious care and effort and attention into the sanctity of the peace that the counterpart has created for the self? And that's why I keep on hearing they're sanctifying the partnership, because the word that they're looking for is, it would make you, not them. Continuing right now, energy deep within divine union, clarification between our 7 of Cups in its upright and the Page of Pentacles. Productivity. There's that. It got the 8, right? 7 to 8. We like that. And again, that's Libra to Scorpio, right? Sometimes when something isn't productive, you wait. And here's the thing about it. I see the energy. It's not the energy that's waiting. It's funny because I know I said always patient, never waiting, except when Saturn arrives, because Saturn says wait, right? I keep on seeing that for some of that energy. I keep on getting for some of that energy. I keep on getting this energy deep within divine union. And this is what we talk about in terms of Saturn lessons, right? When you're going through a maturation process, you can't be mad that someone else isn't maturing at the same rate as you. Nothing is more absurd than being upset at someone because they're not maturing at the rate that you yourself are maturing. And often when we get upset at another person not maturing at the rate by which we're maturing, we create a wound that can't be healed, as opposed to building into the pathwork of patience, hoping that they'll energetically get it. And that's what I keep on getting. It doesn't require It's like it's hard compassion because I keep on saying it doesn't require the energy to tolerate something that isn't appropriate. But I keep on hearing they're giving each other the gift of, they're giving someone the gift of proximity, right? Like when someone is not maturing at the rate by which we are maturing, we give, like Saturn says, give them the gift of proximity. Give them, give them the gift of proximity because the day may come that they'll recognize. And that's what I saw in terms of some of those apologies that are coming through right now for some of the energy and separation. Bottom of the deck right now. There's all that. There's a lot of 7. Here's all that 7 energy again. We got 7 on the bottom of the deck. It's perfect. You gotta heal from perfect if you want to find perfect, right? When you are there is something about recognizing that perfection is found, it's not made. It's the identification point. And here's the thing about it. Often when we're waiting for perfect, all the things we need for perfect to come along pass by us. And we're just completely like, boop, boop, boop. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, right? It's about productive, right? It's about the ability of understanding the sublimity, right? The sublime nature that when we ask for things, the universe sometimes doesn't deliver them to us on a platter. They start giving us things. Okay, they start giving us things. Be like, I don't know what happened. I wanted a birdhouse, and then I got a wrench in the mail, and I got some wood, and there's all these all these birds outside my house, right? It's like sometimes we have to understand that the way the universe communicates with us isn't like the space by which they look at us like a greedy child that says, give me this, and it gives it to us. It's the space by which, it's like your mom that says, like, I want a sandwich, and they go, there is bread. There is bread. I've got some good news for you. There's some bread and some food and some salami in the fridge, and all you need to do is just move your little self over there, and you'll have all the things you need to be able to have that thing. So if you're feeling like that right now, I want you to recognize that. And I know how frustrating it can be. And I know how infuriating it can be when we're working through these modalities of experience and we look at things and go, this isn't ideal, right? But I keep on hearing, remember, ideal is what we do with less than ideal situations, right? It is the space by which we have the capacity to work through something. That is the space by which our dreams become reality. So allow that to kind of help you, even if things feel like they're frustrating right now. Let that observation in terms of what can make things better help us move us toward what is better. That is our daily collective read for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you would like to book a private reading with me, it is a 2-step process. You have to book the reading, you have to pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember that I will never, ever, 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 ever reach out to you for a private reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message that only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my site, so I would encourage you to do it there. A couple of updates before we begin our personal readings today. First and foremost, thank you to everybody who attended our recent class on the moon card. Our next class will be held on Thursday, November 19th at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We will be continuing our studies into the tarot with a focus on the Sun card. If you would like to become a part of that tarot class program, all you need to do is head on over to my stack and become a paid subscriber. Your paid subscription to my stack is your ticket of entry into our live classes each and every month. You will also, as a paid subscriber, have access to over 9 hours worth of material in the Tarot Church Library class archive. Now, it's not necessary to catch up. I do my best to give you an update on everything we've studied thus far, but if you wanted to catch up, now is a great time to join. You could get on the list. You could get on now and take 5 classes a week and be all caught up for our next class. You also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions you may have in relation to anything we've learned and studied thus far. And if you become a founding member to my stack, not only will you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you'll also have full access to the entirety of the Tarot Church Library class archive. That is access to over 20 hours worth of material in an ever expanding library. You'll also have access to a complimentary one-on-one mentorship class with me, where I will meet with you personally to assess where you are on your own personal tarot journey and give you the best insights in terms of how to utilize those classes to the best of your advantage, moving towards your tarot goals going forward. One of the things I tried to do in these classes was make them accessible to the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. Don't let your lack of experience or your robust experience prevent you from joining us in these classes. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Stack, I would encourage you to follow me there to stay up to date on any new offerings or services. I also post my weekly newsletter there, which will let you know about my in-person events as well as my online live schedule. You'll also be notified as to my Mystic Meditation articles. I just wrote one, I just released one last night on navigating this new moon energy that we're experiencing. I also want to let you know that on top of my standard life path readings, I also offer mentorship classes. These are for any of my students seeking a more personalized educational experience with me. I take a very limited number of students for this reason, as those classes are focused on each individual's personal spiritual goals and journey work. Those classes can be purchased on an individual level or as a monthly class series, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits. Also, for my students seeking more consistent weekly tarot support, I'm very happy to offer weekly tarot insight packages. That is a package of 4 30-minute readings, again, weekly or bi-weekly, as your schedule permits, so that you can stay more consistent on your personal journey. I'm also very happy to now offer dream interpretation readings, which can be purchased per dream or as a series. If you purchase a series, I would encourage you to start to keep a dream journal, as we will meet weekly or bi-weekly with that journal and utilize the tarot to understand the key themes and messages coming towards you in the dream space. I want to thank you guys so much for being here today and sharing in these messages, and we will do this again tomorrow.